from the back secretariat, may I present to you the following.
Good morning to each and every one of us, and advance Merry Christmas. I'm Engineer Russell G. Lozano of the Chief Planning and Design Section and the newly installed BAC Chairman. Thank you. May I call this meeting to order? Welcome to our regular BAC meeting. But before we proceed, let's invoke the blessings of God through a prayer.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today for our procurement activity, allow us to glorify you and give you thanks for the gift of life and wisdom. Thank you for allowing our partners in the construction industry to participate in this activity and giving us the opportunity to work with them. Send your Holy Spirit to guide us as we go on with this activity, removing all doubts and malice as we proceed to work for an orderly and successful procurement activity. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
May I request the Secretariat to introduce the attendees and state whether there is a quorum to proceed with the business of the day?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the BAC, TWG, observers, partners in the construction industry, social media viewers, and others joining this meeting via Zoom. Allow me to introduce to you the new set of BAC members who are present today. The new BAC Chairman, Engineer Russell Lozano, Vice Chairman, Eileen Domingo, Regular Member, Ferdinand Jingo Iting, Provisional Member, all types of procurement, Alan Camelio, Provisional Members, Ruben Aldana from the end user, Maylite Alyazar, Noemi Garingan, Chester Paul Takadena. From the TWG, from the technical experts, the head of TWG, Engineer Efren Garingan, Richelle Ann Eugenio, Madonna Bagabay, Christian Mariano, Maria Ronabel Garingan, Alexander Joaquin, and from the financial expert, Ms. Junlin Balbas. From the BAC Secretariat who are present today will assist you in this meeting are the following. Yours truly, Brenda Carbonell, Sayus Jan Mabunga, Joel Tindungan, Ray Agustin, and Larry Ramel. For the record, Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum. Mr. Chairman, we have also invited our resident COA auditor, Mr. Pedro Mabun Jr., a representative coming from the National Constructors Association of the Philippines, NACAP, and from Philippine Green Building Council through their email sent last December 6, 2023. However, none of them attended. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Secretariat. Our agenda for today is the holding of PREBID conference for 8 projects under JA 2024.
7.
Madam Secretariat, kindly discuss the agenda for today, and afterwards, Engineer Joel Tindungan will present and discuss the engineering aspects and technical specifications for the projects.
Good morning once again. For today's PREBID conference for the 7 civil works projects, I will be presenting to you the basic contract data, including contract description, the ABC, and the project duration, as well as the requirements of the bidding documents and the documents to be submitted by the bidders, the technical proposal, pickup license, bid security, also the financial proposal, which composes of the bid form, bid price, the bill of quantities, and the detailed estimates and the cash flow. For the first project, flood management program, construction maintenance of flood mitigation structures and drainage systems, construction of San Francisco CIS Gabion Protection Works along Main Canal, Aglipay, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0030. Scope of works, construction of flood mitigation structure. Approved budget for the contract, 19,600,000 pesos. Contract duration, 209 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 25,000 pesos. Pick up license category, CND, size range, small b. Second project is Convergence and Special Support Program, construction improvement of access roads leading to trades, industries, and economic zones. Ramos San Ramon Road, connecting feeds processing, and Cordon Aurora Road, National Secondary Road, in support of agri-business, food and resource-based processing, Aglipay, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0031. Scope of works, construction of concrete road. Approved budget for the contract, 14,700,000 pesos. Contract duration, 168 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 25,000 pesos. Pick-up license category, CND, size range, small b. Third project is flood management program, construction rehabilitation of flood mitigation facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction along Cagayan River, Ponggo River, Nagtipunan, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0032. Scope of works, construction of flood mitigation structures. Approved budget for the contract, 144,750,000 pesos. Contract duration, 371 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Pick-up license category A, size range medium B. Next project is flood management program, construction rehabilitation of flood mitigation facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction of Cagayan River flood control, Manglad section, Madela, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0033. Scope of works, construction of flood mitigation structure. Approved budget for the contract, 144,750,000 pesos. Contract duration, 371 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Pick-up license category A, size range medium B. Next project is flood management program, construction rehabilitation of flood mitigation facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction along Cagayan River, Sangbay River, Madela, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0034. Scope of works, construction of flood mitigation structure. Approved budget for the contract, 144,750,000 pesos. Contract duration, 371 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Pick-up license category A, size range medium B. Next project is flood management program, construction rehabilitation of flood mitigation facilities within major river basins and principal rivers. Construction along Cagayan River, San Pedro River, Madela, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0035. Scope of works, construction of flood mitigation structure. Approved budget for the contract, 144,750,000 pesos. Contract duration, 371 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Pick-up license category A, size range medium B. Last project is flood management program, construction rehabilitation of flood mitigation facilities within major river basins and principal rivers, construction of Adalum River flood control downstream, Pinaripad Sur section, Aglipay, Quirino. Contract ID 24BK0036. Scope of works, construction of flood mitigation structure. Approved budget for the contract, 96,500,000 pesos. Contract duration, 308 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Pick-up license category A, size range medium B. This private conference is to discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial component of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. It is conducted not earlier than 7 calendar days from the posting of invitation to bid and at least 12 calendar days before the deadline of submission of bids. A supplemental or bid bulletin is issued to answer questions or requests for clarifications or interpretation, and upon BAC's initiative to clarify or modify any provisions of the bidding documents. It is posted in the PhilJEPs and DPWH websites and at our bulletin board at least 7 calendar days before the deadline of bid submission. It is the duty of the prospective bidders to always check the websites for any issued bulletins. In the receipt and opening of bids submitted should be on the date, time, and either at its physical address or through online submission specified in the advertisement through a single stage two envelope system. Bid should be valid for a period not exceeding 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. The first envelope must contain the eligibility requirements and the technical component, and the second envelope must contain the financial component. In the sealing and marking of bids, enclose the original eligibility and technical documents in one sealed envelope marked original technical component, and the other original financial component in another sealed envelope marked original financial component. Same will be done with the copies, copy number 1 and copy number 2. Seal both in an outer envelope marked original bid. The original technical and financial envelopes and the copy envelope shall be contained in one main envelope. The original and copies shall be typed or written in ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall have the required information, the name of the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient or the procuring entity, and a warning, do not open before the specified time and date. Same will be done with electronically submitted bids. Bids must be encrypted and password protected. The electronic submission and receipt of bids is governed by GPPB Resolution Number 9, Series of 2020. It uses a two-factor security procedure consisting of an archive format compression and password protection to ensure the security, integrity, and confidentiality of the bids submitted. It allows a password-protected bidding documents on opening date and time. The password for accessing the file will be disclosed by the bidder only during the actual opening, which may be done in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology. It is capable of generating an audit trail of transactions to ensure the security, integrity, and authenticity of bid submissions. In the sealing and marking of bids, unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes will be rejected, while improperly sealed and marked bid envelopes will be accepted. Same will be done for electronically submitted bids, not compressed and password protected will be rejected, while improperly compressed and password protected will be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The bank shall assume no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid or for its premature opening. Bids submitted after the deadline shall not be accepted. For bids submitted electronically, the Bank Secretariat shall generate a bid receipt page for the official time of submission, which can be saved or printed by the bidder upon receipt of the first and the second envelope. All bids may be modified before the deadline of submission of bids. A letter of withdrawal must be received prior to the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. A withdrawing bidder is not allowed to submit another bid. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and the expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. In case the submitted bids cannot be opened as scheduled due to justifiable reasons, the bank shall take custody of the said bids and reschedule the opening on the next working day or at the soonest possible time through the issuance of a notice of postponement to be posted in the PhilJEP's website and at the DPWH website. In the opening and preliminary examination of bids, the bank shall open the bids in public immediately after the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. In the opening of the first envelope, checking the presence or absence of the submitted documents against a checklist of required documents using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion. In the opening of the second envelopes, only second envelopes of bidders whose first envelope was rated passed will be opened. Bids with missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient and or bid price exceeding the ABC shall be rated failed. The same will be applied for an electronic copy that cannot be opened or is corrupted, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. Only bidders whose both first and second envelopes were rated pass will be ranked. In the opening and evaluation of the first envelope, it must contain the eligibility requirements such as the legal, financial, and technical, its bid security, the technical specifications, and the omnibus turn of statement. For the Class A documents under legal, must be the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration Certificate from SEC, DTI, or CDA, Mayor or Business Permit, and the tax clearance. For the technical, the statement of all ongoing contracts and the statement of single largest completed contract. And for the financial, the net financial contracting capacity, or its committed line of credit, and the audited financial statement is stamp received by the BIR. Under the Class B document is a valid pickup license or special pickup license for JV, and a registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid should be valid at the time of the deadline for the submission and the opening of bids. For the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration and Membership, all bidders shall upload and maintain in PhilJEP's current and updated file of the following Class A eligibility documents under Section 23.1A and 24.1A, such as the registration certificate, the mayor or the business permit, the tax clearance, pickup license and registration, and the audited financial statement. For the business or the mayor's permit, a recently expired business or mayor's permit shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned LGU. However, the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the 2016 IRR of RA 9184. For the tax clearance, submission of BIR receipt for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of a valid tax clearance requirement, since substitution is not allowed under Section 34.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. Submission of provisionary tax clearance issued by the BRR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance per GPPB Resolution Number 1, Series of 2014. For the single largest calculated contract, the SLCC completed shall be similar to the contract to be bid or has the same major categories of work. The SLCC value should be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid upon adjustment to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the contract may participate if the cost of the contract to bid is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of their registration. For the statement of all ongoing contracts, statement of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. For the pickup license, temporary pickup license shall not be accepted as an eligibility or documentary requirement in lieu of a valid pickup license. For the audited financial statement showing, among others, the bidder's total and current assets and liabilities is stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. For the net financial contracting capacity, then FCC value should be at least equal to the ABC to be bid. It is computed as the current assets minus the current liabilities multiplied by the factor K minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. The constant factor K is set at 15 regardless of contract duration. For the eligibility requirements under Class B is the requirement for the joint ventures. A valid pickup license or special pickup license for JV and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid should be valid at the time of the deadline for the submission and receipt of bid. All co-venturers shall submit their legal documents, while any of the co-venturers shall submit technical and financial documents. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit the PhilJEP certificate of registration in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 IRR of RA 9184. For the bid security, bidders must submit bid security to guarantee that the successful bidder shall within 10 calendar days from the receipt of the notice of award enter into contract with the procuring entity and furnish the performance security required. Only one form of bid security among the allowed forms is required to be submitted by the participating bidders. May it be cash or cashier's check, bank guarantee, draft or irrevocable letter of credit, or a surety bond callable upon demand, accompanied by certification from the Insurance Commission, or the bid securing declaration. For the project requirements, it must contain the following: the organizational chart for the contract to be bid, the list of contractors' personnel, such as the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, and the foreman, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data, and the list of contractors' major equipment units, which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreement, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project. For the revised Omnibus Zorn Statement Form, Statement number 3 was revised and the addition of Statement number 10, which states that in case advance payment was made or given, failure to perform or deliver any of the obligations and undertakings in the contract shall be sufficient ground to constitute criminal liability for swindling or the commission of fraud with unfaithfulness or abuse of confidence through misappropriating or converting any payment received by a person or entity under an obligation involving the duty to deliver certain goods or services to the prejudice of the public and the government of the Philippines pursuant to Article 315 of Act Number 3815, Series of 1930 as amended, or the revised Penal Code. For the contents of the second envelope, first is the financial bid form, including bid prices and bill of quantities, as well as applicable price schedules and other documents required in the bidding documents. In the detailed evaluation of bids, its purpose is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids and ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. A non-discretionary criterion shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. Results shall be contained in the abstract of bids as calculated. Placing no price is considered as non-responsive, while specifying a zero or dash means it is offered for free. And in case of discrepancies, bid price in figures versus bid price in words shall prevail. The total price per item versus unit price for the item multiplied by its quantity, the latter shall prevail. The stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Unit cost and the detailed estimate versus unit cost and the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. No contact rule, which means prohibition on communication with bidders from bid evaluation until award of the contract. In the conduct of post-qualification, its purpose is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents to be declared the lowest calculated and responsive bid. A non-discretionary pass or fail criterion shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. For the award of the contract shall be awarded to the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid at its submitted price or total calculated bid price, whichever is lower. The BAC shall notify all other bidders of its recommendation to hope of award of contract to LCRB within 3 calendar days from the issuance of the resolution recommending award. The hope shall have at most 15 calendar days to decide whether or not to approve or disapprove said recommendation. All interested bidders may obtain further information from the Procurement Unit, DPWH, Quirino District Engineering Office, and inspect the bidding documents during weekdays till December 26, 2023. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by interested bidders from our office upon payment of an applicable fee. It may also be downloaded free of charge from the PhilJEPS and DPWH website. For the deadline of submission of bids, December 26, 2023, not later than 10 a.m. Number of bid proposals to be submitted, 1 original and 2 duplicate copies. For the place of submission of bids for manual submission at Procurement Unit, DPWH Quirino District Engineering Office, Cabarugis, Quirino. And for electronic submission at electronicbids_Quirino at dpwh.gov.ph. For further information, please refer to Engineer Brenda B. Carbonell, Officer in Charge Procurement Unit, with email address at carbonell.brenda@dpwh.gov.ph. Thank you. Good morning once again.
For our first project, flood management program, construction of San Francisco CIS Gabion protection works along main canal Aglipay, Quirino, with a total length of 318 meters, 209 calendar days. Photos taken at the site for the beginning of the project and of the project. For the items and quantities involved, for Part A, provision of progress photographs, 6.97 months. Part B, project billboard signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, lump sum. Materials include safety helmets, safety shoes, safety vests, working gloves, face masks, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Mobilization and demobilization lump sum. For Part C, removal of structure and obstruction lump sum. For surplus common excavation, 1,416 cubic meter. Structural excavation common soil, 1,224 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway structure excavation common soil, 392 cubic meter. Part G, stone masonry of 585 cubic meter. Gabions 1 by 1 by 2 metallic coated, 4,372 cubic meter. And filter cloth of 2,137 square meters. Ito lang po ang mga items involved natin sa San Francisco.
Are there any queries, clarification, concerns regarding the projects presented? Hearing none, please proceed, Mr. Engineer Tindungan.
Our next project, CSSP DTI roads. Ramos and Ramon Road connecting feeds processing and Cordon Aurora Road. Aglipay, Quirino, with a total length of 355.2 meters, 168 calendar days. Photos taken at the site, the beginning of the project and end of the project. For the quantities and items involved, for Part A, provision of progress photographs, 5.6 months. Part B, project billboard, signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, lump sum. Materials are safety helmet, safety shoes, safety vest, working gloves, face masks, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Traffic management, lump sum, and mobilization, demobilization, lump sum. For traffic management, use retro-reflective for the signages. Part C, surplus common excavation, 1,729 cubic meter. Structure excavation, common soil, 933.81 cubic meter. Foundation fill, 59.81 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway, structure excavation, common soil, 324 cubic meter. And subgrade preparation, common material, 2,697.99 square meter. Part D, aggregate sub-base course 920 cubic meter. Part E, Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced 0.15 meter thick at 14 days, 1,065.6 square meter. Para po ito sa paving of shoulder. And Portland cement concrete pavement unreinforced 0.28 meters thick at 14 days, 2,673.7 square meter. Para po sa carriageway, type of cement to be used is Portland cement type 1P. For part F, reinforcing steel grade 40, 30,798.48 kilograms, and structural concrete of 20.68 MPa Class A at 28 days, 371.31 cubic meter. Para po ito sa concrete retaining wall. For part G, line canal concrete rectangular 300 by 300 mm, 236 linear meter. Part H, metal guardrail, metal beam including post, double W beam 255.27 linear meter, and metal beam and piece of fishtail of 4 each. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white 75 square meter, and for yellow 89 square meters. Ito lang po ang mga items involved natin sa Ramos San Ramon.
Any additional queries or clarifications and concerns regarding the presented project? Okay, proceed Engineer Tindungan for the next project.
For our next project, 24BK0032, Flood Management Program, construction along Cagayan River, Ponggo River, Nagtipunan, Quirino, with a total length of 1,192 meters, 371 calendar days. Photos taken at the site, beginning of the project and end of the project. For the items and quantities involved, for part A, we'll have provision of 4x4 pickup service vehicle for the engineer on bare rental basis, 12.37 months. Operation and maintenance of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer, 12.37 months. Provision of progress photographs, 12.37 months. Part B, project billboard signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, lump sum. Materials, safety helmets, safety shoes, safety vests, working gloves, face masks, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Mobilization, lump sum, and support equipment, lump sum. For part C, structural excavation, common soil, 38,383 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway, structural excavation, common soil, 1,682 cubic meter. And for part G, Gabion 1x1x2 metallic coated, 41,986 cubic meter, and a filter cloth of 27,786 square meters. Yun lang po ang mga items involved natin sa Ponggo.
Are there any queries, clarifications, or concerns about the project presented? Hearing none, Engineer Tindungan, please proceed with the next project.
Our next project, 24BK0033, also a flood management program, construction of Cagayan River flood control, Manglad section, Madela, Quirino, with a total length of 1,102 meters, 371 calendar days. Photos taken at the site, the beginning of the project and end of the project. For the items and quantities involved, for part A, provision of 4x4 pickup service vehicle for the engineer on bare rental basis, 12.37 months. Operation and maintenance of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer, 12.37 months. And provision of progress photographs, 12.37 months. Part B, project billboard, signboard for each. Occupational safety and health programs, lump sum. Materials are safety helmet, safety shoes, safety vest, working gloves, face mask, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Mobilization, lump sum. And support equipment, lump sum. For Part C, structural excavation, common soil, 18,851 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway, structure excavation, common soil, 1,158 cubic meter. Part G, pipe culverts of 910 diameter, class 4 RCBZ, 20 linear meter. And gabions of 1 by 1 by 2 metallic coated, 45,982 cubic meters. Yun lang po ang items involved natin sa Banglad.
Are there any queries, clarifications, or concerns about the project presented? Hearing none, please proceed with the next project.
Our next project, 24BG0034, also a flood management program, construction along Cagayan River, Sangbay River, Manila, Quirino, with a total length of 1,730 linear meters, 371 calendar days. Photos taken at the site, the beginning of the project, and end of the project. 4 items and quantities involved. For Part A, provision of 4x4 pickup service vehicle for the engineer on bare rental basis, 12.37 months. Operation and maintenance of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer, 12.37 months. Provision of progress photographs, 12.37 months. Part B, project billboard, signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, lump sums. Materials are safety helmet, safety shoes, safety vest, working gloves, face mask, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Mobilization and demobilization, lump sum. And support equipment, lump sum. For Part C, removal of structure and obstruction, lump sum. Structure excavation, common soil, 15,982 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway, structure excavation, common soil, 11,697 cubic meter. And Part G, gabions of 1 by 1 by 2 metallic coated, 45,242 cubic meter. And filter cloth of 7,724 square meter. Yun lang po ang mga items involved natin sa Sangbay.
Are there any queries, clarifications, or concerns about the project presented? Hearing none, let's proceed with the next project.
Our next project, 24BK0035, also a flood management program, construction along Cagayan River, San Pedro River, Manila, Quirino, with a total length of 1,196 meters, 371 calendar days. Photos taken at the site, the beginning of the project, and end of the project. For the items and quantities involved, for Part A, provision of 4x4 pickup service vehicle for the engineer on bare rental basis, 12.37 months. Operation and maintenance of 4x4 pickups type service vehicle for the engineer, 12.37 months. Provision of progress photographs, 12.37 months. Part B, project billboard, signboard for each. Occupational safety and health program, the lump sum. Materials are safety helmet, safety shoes, safety vest, working gloves, face mask, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Mobilization, demobilization, lump sum. Also support equipment, lump sum. For Part C, structural excavation, common soil, 19,576 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway, structure excavation, common soil, 1,184 cubic meter. In Part G, gabions of 1 by 1 by 2 metallic coated, 46,950 cubic meter, and a filter cloth of 9,840 square meters. Yun lang po ang mga items involved natin sa San Pedro.
Okay, are there any queries, clarifications, or concerns regarding the presented project? Hearing none, let's proceed to the next.
Our last project, 24BK0036, also a flood management program, construction of Adalam River flood control downstream Pinaripad Sur section Aglipay, Quirino, with a net length of 890 meters, 308 calendar days. Photos taken at the site, the beginning of the project, and end of the project. For the items and quantities involved, for Part A, provision of 4x4 pickup service vehicle for the engineer on bare rental basis, 10.27 months. Operation and maintenance of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer, 10.27 months. And provision of progress photographs, 10.27 months. Part B, project billboard signboard for each occupational safety and health program, lump sum. The materials includes safety helmets, safety shoes, safety vests, working gloves, face masks, rubber boots, eye goggles, and raincoats. Mobilization, demobilization, lump sum, and support equipment, lump sum. For Part C, structural excavation, common soil, 16,465 cubic meter. In Part G, gabions of 1 by 1 by 2 meters, metallic coated, 31,180 cubic meters. Yun lang po ang mga items involved natin sa Adalam River.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer Tindungan. Are there any queries, clarifications, or concerns regarding the project presented? Hearing none, may we have any announcement from the back secretariat?
Hello. For the information of everyone, on Friday, we have a scheduled PREBID conference for civil works projects funded under GAFY 2023. Contract ID numbers 23BK0147, 148, 149, and 150. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Sec. Please take note of our procurement schedules and be guided accordingly. Hope to see you all during the submission, receipt, opening, and preliminary examination of bids, and hope to see you on Friday. Thank you. There be no other matters to discuss. This meeting is adjourned. We also welcome our new members. Si Engineer Alex Joaquin. Magpapamerienda raw sa Friday.